Good evening, and welcome to World Entertainment Tonight, where we take a closer look at the stories that move millions. Tonight, we begin with one that has shaken the hearts of fans across generations. Louis Tomlinson's first in-depth reflection on the death of his former bandmate and friend, Liam Payne. In a deeply emotional interview with Rolling Stone UK, Tomlinson opened up about the grief, guilt, and gratitude that followed Payne's tragic passing in Argentina last October. The world remembers Liam Payne as one-fifth of One Direction, a band that defined an era, broke countless records, and shaped modern pop culture. But for Louis, it wasn't just a bandmate who was gone. It was, as he described it, the first friend he had ever lost. His words were raw, heartfelt, and deeply human, a reminder that even global icons carry the same fragile emotions that unite us all. Liam Payne's death, which occurred after a fall from a hotel balcony in Buenos Aires, stunned the music world. At just 31, the singer who once filled stadiums with his voice and energy was suddenly gone. Fans across continents mourned not only the man, but the memories, the laughter, the harmonies, and the brotherhood that once defined One Direction. In the months that followed, speculation, tributes, and theories flooded social media, but the surviving members of the band largely remained silent, choosing to grieve privately. Now, nearly a year later, Louis Tomlinson has decided to speak, not for headlines, but for healing. In his own words, he described the experience as impossibly difficult, confessing that he thought his past experiences with grief might prepare him. "That was super naive," he admitted. "It's very different. I've never lost a friend before." For Tomlinson, who has endured personal loss before, including the deaths of his mother and sister, the pain of losing Liam was unlike anything he had faced. "I thought I knew how to process grief," he told the magazine, "but this felt different. It's unjust, it's frustrating, and it still doesn't feel real." The timing made it even harder. 2025 marked the 15th anniversary of One Direction's formation, a milestone usually celebrated with nostalgia and joy. But for Louis, it was overshadowed by absence. "It was really uncomfortable," he said. "The feeling to celebrate is as important as ever, especially on behalf of Liam. But it just hit differently this time." For fans who grew up watching the band evolve from shy teenagers on The X Factor into global superstars, his words cut deep. The image of the five boys, Louis, Liam, Harry, Niall, and Zayn, standing together, now feels like a moment frozen in time. In the interview, Louis went beyond grief to reflect on who Liam truly was, both as an artist and as a person. "He was the safest pair of hands," Tomlinson said, describing how Liam's early experience in music made him a stabilizing force in the group. While the rest of the boys were learning the ropes, Liam already knew how to perform, how to lead, and how to hold the stage. "We all looked up to him, even if we never said it," Louis admitted. It's a rare, vulnerable acknowledgement from one of the world's most famous bandmates. Over the years, rumors of tension and rivalry among One Direction members often dominated tabloids, but Tomlinson's reflection stripped away the noise. His words painted a portrait of a man who was not just a pop star, but a mentor and a friend. Someone whose presence had quietly held the group together when fame threatened to pull them apart. Tomlinson also addressed what he called the unfair treatment Liam received from parts of the press in recent years. After Payne's 2022 appearance on Logan Paul's Impulsive podcast, where he made controversial comments about his former bandmates, public opinion turned harsh. "I felt the need to set the record straight," Louis said, recalling the day he posted his heartfelt tribute after Liam's death. Anyone who knew him personally would know how deeply unfair that was. Anything he got wrong in life, which we all do, was never through malice, just miscommunication. The tribute Louis shared online the day after Liam's passing went viral. In it, he called Payne the most vital part of One Direction, praising his perfect pitch, stage presence, and songwriting talent. "Thank you for shaping us, Liam," he wrote. A simple, devastating line that captured both gratitude and loss. Beyond the personal grief, Lewis' reflection carries a larger truth about fame and misunderstanding. He described Liam as a very misunderstood person from a public perspective, someone who often struggled to express himself in the ways people expected. If there was ever judgment on his character, Lewis said, 9 times out of 10, it came from him just wanting to be liked. It's a sentiment that many who knew Payne have echoed over the years. That behind the confident performer was a kind, sensitive man, wrestling with the pressures of fame and self-expectation. The boy who once stood center stage in front of thousands was, at his core, still seeking connection and understanding. For Lewis, sharing this side of Liam wasn't just about honoring his memory. It was about rewriting the narrative, turning public scrutiny into empathy. As the interview continues to resonate around the world, fans have flooded social media with messages of love and remembrance. Many have shared clips of One Direction performances, celebrating the moments when Liam's steady voice and charm anchored the group. Others have expressed gratitude to Louis for speaking so candidly. "He didn't just remember Liam," one fan wrote. "He reminded us who Liam really was." Music journalists, too, have praised Tomlinson for his honesty, noting that such openness about grief and friendship is rare in the world of pop stardom. The conversation has reignited calls for compassion within fan communities, where online criticism can sometimes blur the humanity of the artists they follow. In his grief, Louis may have done something extraordinary. He has humanized fame again, reminding the world that behind every spotlight, there are shadows only the closest friends can see. As Rolling Stone UK prepares to release the full feature, one thing is clear. Lewis Tomlinson's reflection isn't just about the past. It's about healing, legacy, and brotherhood. "Thank you for shaping us, Liam," he wrote, and that sentiment lingers. For Lewis, for the fans, and for a generation that grew up with One Direction, Payne's memory remains woven into the music that defined their youth. The story of Lewis and Liam, one of friendship, forgiveness, and loss, reminds us that grief doesn't disappear. It evolves into gratitude. And as the world prepares to mark another anniversary of One Direction's rise, perhaps the band's greatest harmony is not in their songs, but in the bond that endures beyond them. In Lewis's words, the lesson is simple yet profound. Fame fades, but friendship, real friendship, never does.